Nothing but hurt left here. Open the hurt locker and learn how rough men come hunting for soul. Those two lines are the opening line and the closing line from Brian Turner's poem called The Hurt Locker. What is the hurt locker? No, it doesn't mean the EOD guy going down the street and then distributes a bomb like the one in the Hollywood movie. So breaking down the word, the hurt locker, hurt is just an adjective we use to describe feeling pain, feeling anything that causing suffering. For a locker is a place that soldiers keep the toolkits in there, but it can also refer to an enclosed space that is difficult to get out of. So in military context, a hurt locker is a place or a situation that give you difficulties, it can cause you pain, and the most important thing is it is difficult for you to get out, to remove yourself out of that situation. So it's basically the situation that you don't want to be in. Brian Turner went to Iraq 3 times in his 3 tours, and he wrote this poem as part of his Here Bullet collection. He made 2 main points in his poem. The first one is that war is a world of pain. And the second point is that war gives you a sense of mistrust, a sense of insecurity, a sense of fear, and that bears the burden on the soldier and give them the struggle back home and not just overseas when he go to war. So to analyze the first point, the first stanza of the poem goes, nothing but hurt left here, nothing but bullets and pain and the blood all slumping and all the fucks and goddams and Jesus Christ of the wounded. He used very explicit language to capture the point that he wants to make, and it also makes the poem sounds more real. He described what the bullet can do to you, give you pain. What do you do after that? You cast out all the bad words just because you have no other words to describe how painful it is to get shot. In war, you face bullets, you encounter bullets every day when you go down the street, just patrolling, and then it can come from nowhere. And being in that situation, you stress all the time. It's just the pain that you get from going to war. The second point comes from the second stanza of the poem. It goes, believe it when you see it. Believe it when a 12-year-old rolls a grenade into the room, or when a sniper punches a hole into someone's skull. So from this line, it shows you a sense of mistrust, a sense of insecurity from going to war. Why? Because you don't know where your enemies are, you don't know where your enemies come from. War in Iraq is not being fought by armies in uniform against army in uniform. It is being fought by an army in uniform against somebody else. So thinking about that, you don't know where your enemies come from. You can rolling down the street, you met with this kid, and then a minute later he rolls a grenade right next to your foot. It could be a suicide bomber coming out from nowhere in the market. It could be a taxi driver just driving the taxi down near the market and then just start firing at the people. So by being in that situation all the time, you are always stressed, you always scan for everything. That puts the burden on the soldier. And to analyze the poem further, the last line of the poem is, open the hurt locker and learn how rough men come hunting for soul. And that kind of finalize the main point, the second main point, because it shows you the impact of how war can change you. Basically war turns human into just a living being with a killing instinct that just coming hunting for its prey. The city becomes the hunting ground, and the hunters will not care how rough or how immoral it can be, but they will come for the souls of the other, for the souls of the army in uniform. So it is important for us as the audience. The poem speaks to the soldier themselves and also to us at home front. It's important because the second main point, which is war gives you a sense of mistrust and insecurity, that's what basically caused the struggle back home for the soldier. The soldier, once they're done with war overseas and when they come back home, well, they don't quite actually come back home. Why? Because there's a battle ghost follow them home. Like when Brian Turner mentioned in the general lecture that when he went into the department store after his first tour, he feels like he's out of place. He's scanning everywhere for something that is not physically there, but is mentally there. So us as the people at home, as the family, as the brother in arm, we can help the soldiers. How can we help? We can help by listen to the veterans, talk to the veterans, learn how rough they have been through pain, learn how rough they have been through war, and just by listening to them, they get to open the hurt locker inside their mind, let all the pain out, and actually get out of the hurt locker that is inside their mind, and not just the hurt locker from the war overseas. So, war is pain, war is a hurt locker, war changes soldiers in the way that nothing else can. Us as audience can help, us as audience, I would say has the duty to help the brother in arm, the veterans, so that they can actually come back home.